Yeah. I mean, Eddie, there's something that Jimmy said that because he mentioned about Andre with the vision and Teddy with the sound, and I guess some of us, we see that Teddy co-produced the debut album, but how was Teddy involved with, when you joined in? I mean, what was your relationship with Teddy in those very early days at
But
Uptown?
a couple of things before I answer that, I just want to jump back really quick. The other thing too that I wanted to add really quick about Mr. Big Stuff, we didn't realize it at the time, but one of the genius of Andre Harrell was that also, if you look at the video had we were in a club and we kind of snuck into the club and we were performing for an older audience who was saying, they were resisting rap, but we had a familiar
Ah,
song. We had Mr. Big Stuff, which was an old song that was mixed now into new rap, and it also went along with the fact that Uptown MCA was partnered with MCA Records, which was a powerhouse in R&B. So one of the genius of Uptown, and I didn't realize this till years later when I look back. I said, man, what? Because Andre was also a marketing major. One of the things he was doing, he was basically uh, sneaking rap and making it compatible with R&B and saying we're gonna not only make the song that fits that, we're gonna make the video, and then that's what later on people at Uptown will call making your movie, where your whole presentation went along with how you're trying to deliver and market and what audience you're trying to get to. So I'm saying that to say Mr. Big Stuff was a rap record, but it also was an R&B accessible with a familiar old sample that threw back to old R&B, and we were trying to get on R&B radio. So that's one of the things that helped us cut through and get through on stations where normally they wouldn't play rap. And then you had Jimmy, who was breaking down the whole science, and he was Andre's basically. They were like basically right hand men to each other. So he was like he would go and deliver the vision that they already came up with, and then now bring that to radio and explain to them this is why this fits, this is why this makes sense for you to play it with your other R&B records, because it's not offensive, it's not cursing, it's using an R&B record.
mm,
Because the first version of Mr. Big Stuff, it had a whole different snare in there, and it was abrasive, and it was the snare that was the same snare that was used in Art of Noise and some other songs. It was other hip hop songs. It was very loud and abrasive. It was like, and Andre actually made us change it to a more R&B snare. And I remember at the time, we were like, man, sound watered down, man. It's not, it's not hard. But that was the genius of Andre. He was listening and saying, I can't. This is gonna be too abrasive. I can't get this on R&B radio because it sounds too harsh. You know what I mean? And we didn't understand at the time, but that was part of the whole vision. Now to flip to the other side of your question, um, working with Teddy, as I was saying earlier, when I first got in the game, I wasn't a producer. I was a beat maker and I was a DJ. I knew all the records. I had the information. I knew how to program beats, but I didn't know anything about what a producer did. And that's where Teddy and Andre came in, and also Marley Marl. So I tell people, blessed as I was, Andre Harrell introduced me to Teddy Riley and Marley Marl. So like, who better to get, an education from than two giants in the game? Marley was, he was the first guy on radio with Mr. Magic. He had the Juice Crew. He was innovating sampling. He put sampling in hip hop, put James Brown in hip hop, and I was
wow.
able to work directly with him, watch him. Then you have Teddy Riley, who took hip hop and R&B, was the first to fuse them together, and which became New Jack Swing. And I got to basically work directly with him, and then we worked on a whole album together in the studio. Sometimes I had beats and he would take them and fully produce them and finish them. Sometimes it was coming up with ideas right there in the studio. And I got to watch that whole process, even if it was coming up with a song from scratch. Because a lot of times we just go to the studio and we might be making up a record right there. Like there was records like I'm Getting Paid or Rock the Bass that got made in the studio, put together from the drum beat to bass line to heavy writing the rhymes. So for me, that was a whole education as somebody aspiring to be a producer. And I got a front seat to basically see Teddy Riley's process. This is how you make a record from start to finish. And one thing I always like to say about I tell Teddy all the time when I talk to him, I say, man, when people call and they're gonna do something on you, tell them to please call me, because everybody knows Teddy Riley makes hit records. They know he makes smash hits. They know he worked with Michael Jackson, My Prerogative, Just Got Paid. They know the hit records. But what they don't know about Teddy is that Teddy was so gracious and giving. He would just give people drum sounds. He would say, yo, I'm using this keyboard. You should get this keyboard. Where most people would hide their stuff. Most people put tape on there, the name
right.
of and would like hide their sounds. Teddy was the exact opposite. He'd be like, yo, you need some sounds? And it showed two things. One, it was a level of graciousness. And two, also a level of confidence that he didn't feel like, if I give you my whole drum kit and all my sounds and everything, I'm still going to do what I'm going to do with it. You're going to do something else with it. And we both going to make hit records. And it's going to be fine. And I think that's the part that always gets missed, because Teddy did that for a lot of people. He gave to a lot of people. Even when he was in Virginia, he had the Neptunes and those guys up under him. He had a lot of people that he just gave information, and to me, it's not a mystery that all these people over time ended up being like leaders of making like up-tempo R&B party records. You know what I mean? And a lot of, if you look at that tree, a lot of that comes from Teddy Riley. So shout out to him.
Yeah, and I think Stanley Brown mentioned the same thing.
Yep.
Just about being on Teddy opens the door, lets everyone see what was going on. Kyle West as well. Before we go on, Jimmy, Sydney said a shout out from Sydney.
That's my daughter. Yep.
That's your daughter.
Thank you.
Okay. She shout out to Sydney. She's phoned her dad and stuff.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between us, or even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for me, but just for me,
No. Okay, you okay?
They don't understand what Jonas Boyz are winning all spirits.
Play it.
These guys, they all work together.
I love all different genres.